Look at it. Just a small box, no bigger than your hands could cradle. Oak wood, softened with time. Its edges worn down like the folds of an old book. You'd think it belonged in a grandmother's attic, the kind of trinket you'd dismiss with a passing glance. But the moment you touch it, truly touch it, you know, there's something wrong. What if the most beautiful melody you ever heard was also the most terrifying? That was the first mistake, believing beauty always meant safety. We found the music box in a dusty corner of an estate sale, tucked beneath moth-eaten lace and rusted cutlery. It gleamed faintly under the weak light, its golden inlay catching just enough of the eye to demand attention. Whoever placed it there must have known no one could resist winding the tiny crank. No one could have guessed what it would cost. It was too beautiful to ignore. The wood was carved with precision, floral patterns swirling across the lid in a hypnotic dance. Despite its age, the mechanism still seemed intact, the winding key resting neatly at its side. Just a box, I remember saying. An antique. Harmless. Harmless. That word lingered in the room, like a lie no one wanted to correct. Antiques have always carried shadow stories, not written in any ledger, but whispered in cracks, stains, and scratches. Every object that passes through hands absorbs something of its owners. Joy, sorrow, death. The music box was no different. It just chose to sing back what it remembered. The first time we opened it, the room changed. The lid creaked, the hinge moaning like something reluctant to be disturbed. Then, with a soft click, the tune began. The melody was beautiful, delicate, fragile, like the sound of falling snow or the first notes of a lullaby. Yet beneath the sweetness, something sour writhed, a discordant undercurrent you couldn't quite place. At first, it was only a feeling. The air seemed heavier, shadows pooling thicker in the corners. The candle flame stuttered, though no draft moved. We told ourselves it was nothing. Tricks of the light, the old house settling, but when the last note lingered longer than it should have, there was silence so deep it felt alive. I swore I heard whispering in that silence. A voice too faint to catch, like breath fogging against a mirror. That night, none of us slept well. Curiosity devours caution. The next day, I scoured the music box more closely. Beneath the velvet lining, an inscription was etched into the wood. Almost hidden by time, immer gebunden, bound forever. The phrase carried a weight that settled in my bones. I began researching its origin. The trail led through yellowed records and old folklore. Whispers of cursed, of craftsmen who sealed grief, rage, or worse, into their creations. I found a faded photograph of a child, clutching a nearly identical box, her eyes hollow, her expression too stiff to be alive. And then there were the stories. A family plagued by tragedy, each member claimed in increasingly inexplicable ways. A collector who acquired the box, only to vanish weeks later. A woman whose neighbors swore they could hear music in her house at night, long after she was gone. The melody wasn't just music. It was a thread, a tether to something that should have stayed forgotten. The more we listened, the stronger its pull became. At first, it was unexplainable coincidences. The box shifting places when no one had touched it, faint scratches appearing on the wooden lid, as though something inside longed to escape. Then the melody itself began to change. Notes stretched unnaturally, winding into unfamiliar patterns that no human hand had composed. It played even when closed, soft at first, then loud enough to rattle picture frames. Nightmares followed. I dreamed of halls filled with endless mirrors, every reflection just slightly wrong. I dreamed of the box opening by itself, shadows pouring out like smoke, curling into shapes that leaned close and breathed my name. I wasn't alone in this. Others began hearing it too, the melody drifting faintly, even in daylight, weaving itself into thoughts. We'd find ourselves humming it without realizing, our mouths moving like puppets. One evening, I caught my own reflection in the mirror, lips moving though no sound came. The song continued, even when I clamped my mouth shut. That's when I understood. It wasn't in the box anymore. It was in us. We tried to silence it. God, we tried. First, we locked it away in a chest, but the tunes seeped through the walls, muffled yet unmistakable. We buried it deep in the earth, only to hear the melody swelling in the soil like a heartbeat. Finally, in desperation, we burned it. Flames licked across its surface, splitting wood, blackening gold, releasing a keening wail that wasn't music but something closer to a scream. The fire consumed it to ash, and for one terrible moment, the silence felt victorious. Then the ash stirred, and in that soft hiss, the melody began again. Only now, there was no box to contain it. The tune filled the room from nowhere and everywhere at once, weaving into the corners, into the walls, into us. It vibrated through bone, a parasite nesting deeper with each note. I realized then what bound forever meant. The music box had never been cursed. It had been a prison, and by opening it, we hadn't released a tune. We had freed something that had been waiting for centuries to sing through us. Now the melody never stops. It plays beneath everything, every silence, every breath. It follows me into dreams, into conversations, into moments where I forget for just a heartbeat, until I hear it again. Sometimes I wake in the night to find my hands miming the crank of the box, turning nothing, drawing forth everything. Sometimes I swear I hear laughter threaded through the notes, quiet but growing bolder. People avoid me now. They say there's something in my eyes that wasn't there before. Something hollow. Something waiting. And I can't help but wonder, when you listen long enough, do you still belong to yourself, or do you belong to the song? Because beauty betrays. The box taught me that. So if you ever stumble upon an antique music box, it's wood cracked with age, its melody soft and sweet, don't open it, don't wind it, don't listen, because once it starts playing, it doesn't stop. And maybe, just maybe, it's already too late for you.